Okay, I'm really excited to learn with you tonight. This is the story of Shimshone, probably one of the most famous stories in Sefer Shoftim. We just read it last week on Shabbat, this past Shabbat in the Haftorah. We read the story of Shimshone. So now we're going to read about the birth of Shimshone. Before he was actually born, there's a story about how he was born. So here we go. Pasuk Aleph. Perek Yud Gimel of Sefer Shoftim. Vayosifu ben Yisrael asot hara b'nei Hashem v'yitinem Hashem b'yad Plishtim arba'im shana. The Plishtim were the enemy in this story, and they were causing a lot of pain to the Jewish people for 40 years. We are now being told about someone from the tribe of Dan, Shevet Dan, and his name was Manoach, and his wife she was unable to have children. She had no children. Vayera malach Hashem el ha'isha, vayomer eleha, hinena at akara v'lo yalat, v'harit v'yalat bein. He tells her, a malach, an angel of Hashem, appears to his wife, Manoach's wife. We are not told her name, but we are told that she obviously was a very holy person, and a malach, an angel of Hashem, appeared to her and told her, behold, till this point you have not had any children, have been unable to have children, but I'm going to tell you now that you will become pregnant and you will actually have a child. However, this is not going to be an ordinary child. You will now begin to keep the laws of Nazir. We actually studied the laws of Nazir this past Friday. We talked about it at Parsha. And here are some of the laws of Nazir. Now we have 3 different types of Nazir. We have a regular Nazir. A regular Nazir cannot grow his hair for 30 days, cannot eat grapes, drink wine, cannot come in contact with the dead, and he can't go into a cemetery. After 30 days, he shaves his entire body, needs to bring 3 animal sacrifices. If he drinks wine or comes into contact with the dead body, he must start the count over again. So that is a regular Nazir. So regular Nazir, again, has these 3 laws. Not allowed to grow his hair, not allowed to eat grapes or drink wine, not allowed to go into a cemetery, come in contact with the dead, and that means he can't go to funerals. And also, that his Nizirut only lasts for 30 days. 30 days is his Nizirut, and that's it. However, we also have 2 other types of Nizirut. A person can say he wants to be, by the way, who is a Nazir? Who becomes a Nazir? Which people amongst us are Nazir? No one. No one is a Nazir unless they decide and they want to become a Nazir. And all you have to do is make a vow to become a Nazir. And as we said, you'd become a Nazir and you keep your rules for 30 days. But there's 2 other types. If you say you want to be a Nazir Olam, that's another type of Nazir. And another Olam is someone who says they want to be a Nazir for the rest of their lives. And the rules about a Nazir Olam are different than a regular Nazir. A Nazir Olam cannot drink wine or come in contact with the dead, but he can get a haircut every month. So he has a leniency. He's allowed to get a haircut every month, but no wine and no coming into contact with the dead. Finally, we have a Nazir Shimshone, which is basically modeled after the Nazirut that Shimshone is going to be. Now, Shimshone, as you know, he's going to be the one to save the Jewish people, so he obviously went to war, and he obviously had to kill people, so he was allowed to come to contact with the dead. However, he was not allowed to get a haircut, and he was not allowed to drink wine. So, unlike a Nazir Olam, who is not allowed to come to contact with the dead, and not allowed to drink wine, a Nazir Olam is allowed to get a haircut every month. A Nazir Shimshon cannot get a haircut, cannot drink wine, but he can come into contact with the dead. So both of them, Nazir Shimshon, Nazir Olam, cannot, both types of Nazir cannot drink wine, but they have a difference with whether they can keep the rules of coming into contact with the dead, or whether they can keep the rules of going to a funeral or coming to, or getting a haircut rather. So the malach, as we're going to see, is going to tell is going to tell the wife of Manoach that you are going to have a child, and he's going to become the next leader of the Jewish people. However, let's see what he says. From now on, you must be careful, even while you're pregnant, not to drink any wine or any alcoholic beverages. Do not eat any grapes. Because you're going to have a child, and there will never be a scissor come over his head. He is going to be a Nazir from the time that he's born. From birth, he's a Nazir and on. And he, Yachel Yisrael, he's going to be the one who will save the Jewish people from the hands of the Plishtim. So Vatabo Isha Vatomel Isha Lemor Isha Lim Ba Ilai Umari Ukamari Malach Lim Norama Od Velo Shiltu Amy Zahu Vet Shmuel Yigidli Vayomer Li Nacharav Yolad Bain Vatal Tish the Yain Vishechar Vatochli Kultuma Kinizir Lim Yanar Min Abat Yemoto. So his wife comes home that day, and you can imagine what news he has to tell her husband. Oh, my husband dear, a malach came to me and told me the best news. Well, of course, it sounds great, but if you're the husband, you might be a little nervous. Did your wife just see things? Was it really an angel? So Manoach does what maybe many people would do. He wanted to make sure that it was that his wife heard correctly, and that she was pregnant, and that she can't eat grapes, and she can't drink wine, and that her child is going to be a Nazir from birth. So he davened that the malach who came to tell his wife that she was going to have a child should come and tell him as well. He wants to be able to hear the same news. And Hashem listened to the voice of Manoach. So the Hashem listens to the tefillah of Manoach, and the malach comes again while Manoach's wife was in the field, and she ran and told her husband that the man is back. And then Manoach said to the angel, "Are you the same person that told my wife that all of these things, that we're going to have a child and he's going to be a Nazir?" And he said, "Yes." So he asks the malach, "Tell me, what do I have to do?" Whatever I told your wife, that's what you have to do. Don't let him drink. She can't drink, and your son can't drink any wine, and he can't eat any grapes. Stay here a while, he says. Let us prepare you a meal. You give me to eat, I won't eat your bread. And if you want to bring a korban, bring it to Hashem. Now here's something similar that happened earlier in the story of Gidon. Manoach did not believe 100% this was truly an angel of Hashem, and he was testing the angel. He didn't know it was an angel of Hashem. He kept offering him food, and the angel kept turning him down. Can you tell me your name so I can honor you? Why do you ask my name? You can't understand my name. Manoach took prepared goats, and he put it on a stone, and the angel started doing wondrous things while Manoach and his wife were washing. And what happened was that the fire came, and the angel disappeared into the fire back up to Shemayim. Meanwhile, Manoach and his wife were frightened at what they had seen, and they were afraid for their deaths. And Manoach realized it was an angel. He was afraid for his death. And his wife assured him, "Don't worry, we're not going to die." And eventually she had the child, and they called him Shimshone. And the Nar grew up, and Hashem blessed him. And and the Spirit of Hashem would ring in the heart of Shimshone, where he lived between Sira and Eshtaol. And we will continue this tomorrow. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great night.